So two silly mistakes.
Totally blind.
Might use the toilet in here. They're a little bit scary.
La 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 la. Yeah.
But to be honest, we're not that bothered. It ruined it for us a bit. New Year's Eve without power and heating. If you're new to our channel, we're Ben and Emily, and after 4 years living full-time on the UK canal network, we sold up, moved into our self-converted ex-ambulance camper Ronnie and our tiny narrowboat Rambler, freeing us up for more travels further afield. We are currently on a 6-week journey around Spain and Portugal.
We're in Lagos and it's New Year's Eve.
We didn't mean to come here, but here we are.
So let's expect the unexpected and see what we find.
We had arrived in Lagos and headed straight to the campsite. What do you think?
Yeah.
It's rustic, isn't it?
Yeah, rustic.
It was €11.50 a night. So we're staying for 2 nights, which means we're going to be here for New Year's Eve. On the reviews it said it was very dilapidated, but I really like it. I think it's got a really interesting vibe. There's like some kind of makeshift like tent houses here. It's really cool. It's really interesting.
It's going to be funky, it's going to be fruity.
And we're like pretty much in the middle of Lagos. Okay, I'm going to go check out the toilets and showers and see what it's like here.
Oh, sure.
Might use the toilet in here. They're a little bit scary.
No.
The showers are actually fine.
Yeah.
But the toilets, they don't have toilet seats. One of them was blocked. That's a nice way of putting it. Rustic. A little bit creepy.
That's one way of putting it.
Benny, it's dinner time.
Huh?
What are you doing? Just munching.
I just realised I never got to actually have a proper go on this.
Do you know what I've just realised?
Mate?
I didn't have any lunch.
Did you had that cake?
Oh, I had cake for lunch.
You said I don't want anything, then mine came and it was really big and you decided to eat half of mine.
Okay guys, that is not true. I had like 4 bites. 4 big bites, but I did not eat half of it. So yeah, basically I had that kind of sloppy cake for lunch. There's still half of it left. Why are you eating this now?
I'm hungry.
Okay, so we're going to stay in the van this evening and then we're going to head into Lagos tomorrow to have an explore. And tonight's dinner will be?
Veggie fingers and pasta and broccoli.
Weird dinner. I'm excited about it though.
You're not the only one. Eating veggie fingers. I haven't even put the veggie fingers on this yet. This is going to be crazy.
Have you done the whole pack?
La 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 la. Yeah. La 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 la.
That's a lot of food. Guess we've got a lot of walking to do tomorrow, haven't we? Just to finish the dish off. 5 veggie fingers each. Beautiful pasta with a side of veggie fingers. And Benny just stood on this one as he got in the bed. Straight on it. Good morning. There's a silent night here. It's very good. When we were at the last campsite, we didn't get a chance to use the laundrette there or anything. Or the hand wash scrubby things, but they've got them here as well. So I've decided I'm going to do a sock wash. So I'm going to soak them while we go out for the day and then I'll just give them a good scrub when we get back.
Oh yeah, get some nice clean socks. That'll be good.
Benny's run out of socks again. So I'm going to soak them in boiling water. It's New Year's Eve.
Start as you mean to go on. With a lot of clean socks. I think you might need a bit more water.
Yeah.
Did you want to stick your fish on the fridge?
Oh yeah, where is my fish? And when we were in Villanova de Mil Fontes, keep forgetting the place name, but it's written on here, we went into like a gift shop that was all really nice handmade stuff. That's where Benny bought his shirt from. And they had these hand-painted fish magnets. How cool is he?
Yeah,
I love him. So he's going to go on the fridge with our other...
Is he an anchovy?
Benny's just remembered that there's a postcard in the camera bag, but we couldn't remember where it's from.
Porto!
Oh, it's Porto.
Yeah.
Cool.
Watercolour.
Nice. We're really running out of space over here.
Well, I was thinking we'll move that one because we didn't go there. I
What
just
is
bought
it?
it because it's a vintage postcard.
Oh, was that when we went to Dinant and you just bought a postcard of a really
Yeah.
random place?
There's someone's
We've
that.
no idea where that is.
Does it say on
Maybe it does say, but it is vintage.
Remo Champs, Chateau de Montjardin.
Never been there.
We've been here though, so that can go on.
Yay.
Okay, yeah, that's it. Wow.
Perfect. And we've put our picture of when we met Anna and Dominic just there.
Just wanted to show you the little things that were dropping on the van last night. They're like these little, a bit like acorn husk things.
Kind of look like buttons.
Yeah. It's actually the first cloudy day today that we've had, I think, maybe in the whole trip, possibly.
Well, since we left France anyway.
Yes, yeah. All that aside, we're coming to look at the sea and the beach to just like check it out for maybe having a swim when it is sunny tomorrow.
Yeah.
We'll stay maybe another 2 days actually.
One of the reasons we wanted to come to the Algarve was because the sea is a lot less rough. On the west coast it's way too rough to swim in, it's quite dangerous. That's why it's so good for surfing.
Who is that little scavenging team there? I love how they're just scuttling away from the waves. That is so cute. They're special little guys. I wonder what it is that they're finding.
It looks like the sea is really full of seaweed.
Yes.
I'm not sure about getting in there, to be honest.
Each wave is like black with seaweed, so it might not be the finest choice for a swim.
It's just typical, isn't it? We drove to the Algarve so that we would be a little bit warmer, and as soon as we got here it's actually cooler and cloudier than when we were on the west coast, but never mind, it's still good to be here.
We don't know quite what to expect from Lagos. Of course we know that it is a very touristy place, or has become so in the last 10 or 20 years, so we're going to go on a journey of discovery.
Yeah.
But we are being currently drawn towards some very interesting
Ruins.
graffiti on a ruin which looks like an old fishing
I think
hut or
there's
something.
two. There's something really fascinating about ruins to me. I really like ruins, and I know that graffiti is kind of seen as criminal damage or whatever, but I just feel like it really adds something to this.
But anyway, we're leaving the beach, we're heading into the town. We're going to have a little explore.
We don't know which way we're going.
See what we can see. Yeah, it's actually, the beach is actually quite far from the town.
Yeah.
It's like a 15-minute walk, so we best get on our way.
So we mentioned that we didn't mean to come here. Well, it's more that we didn't know where to go. We wanted to come to the Algarve, and to be honest, you know, sometimes it's quite hard to plan ahead. Obviously, there are thousands and thousands of interesting places to visit all over the country, and we do have a bit of a time limit because we're heading over to Spain for my dad's 65th birthday at the start of January, and we want to make the most of being in Portugal.
It was also very quiet where we were. There wasn't much of an atmosphere, it wasn't very bustling. And although we said that we were going to do something quiet for New Year's Eve, we've come to a bustling place that we read has some culture and some things happening, so we wanted to just get stuck in with that really, so it was a last minute change of plan. I find sometimes you can get trapped in too many plans.
Yeah, definitely.
It can actually put you on a path that you're not meant to go on, because being in the flow is quite a special thing, I find. And it's worked for us so far.
Yeah, definitely.
So Emily's found this place, it looks pretty good, so we're going to go to check it out and get some food.
We're hungry. Okay, so that was Nana Bar.
Ooh, I'm full.
And we're both very full. My nachos were like for two people, like as a starter, but I just had it for myself, and it was very, very good. Really nice fresh salsa on there, plenty of topping. It's always disappointing if you get dry nachos, but this wasn't. It was really, really good.
My burger was big. It was big. It was a veggie patty burger with all the salad and guacamole in it. But in honesty, the patty itself didn't really taste of much, even though it was big. It was like mashed veg, then I think it was fried or something. So it wasn't the most tasty thing. The thing is with me, you got to remember, I used to make veggie burgers.
Yeah.
I used to have a little business doing it in Hebden Bridge, so I guess I kind of know how you can make them good or how they can just be.
Yeah, it was a bit
like,
bland, wasn't
just
it?
kind of taste of stodge, you know.
Yeah, like kind of, yeah, like mashed potato with some veg in sort of thing. To be honest, I think it was very overpriced.
Yeah, it was
I
18
think,
euros
yeah.
for the burger, and then the chips, which were like freshly made crisps, which was pretty cool, and they were like had a bit of sauce on them, like they'd been thrown in sauce, like tossed in sauce.
I think it was alioli or alioli.
So they were super tasty, but it was just like a few crisps.
18 euros for Benny's burger, and then my nachos were 13 euros because I had guacamole on the side. And yeah, I think like the beef burgers were cheaper, and that was like 100% organic beef. So it doesn't really make sense.
No.
I would say that, you know, obviously because we were trying to find a veggie thing, it is so hard to do that here, it seems. So it was kind of like our only option. We enjoyed it, but a bit overpriced for what it was.
Finding myself like narrowly diving out the way of vehicles here quite a lot of the time.
They go fast and it's narrow streets, isn't it?
Yeah, so
We've just stood behind a bar.
I knew they couldn't get me here.
Feeling safe?
So we are in what is called the old town of Lagos. We're just exploring now, discovering it. It's actually really busy. There's a lot of people here. It seems like there's a lot of tourists, a lot of people sitting outside the bars and cafes, eating and drinking. Yeah, it's fairly busy.
I feel like we've been really spoilt by Porto and Peniche and some of the places that we've seen recently, because a little bit surprised at the old town here. There's not that many kind of, I don't know, it seems a bit run down, which definitely has its own charm as well. Kind of really like that. But yeah, it's not got the super cute, beautiful buildings, unless we just haven't found them yet. But there's loads of very, very cool graffiti. So much of it, really like beautiful pieces of artwork. So that's really nice to see. And I think a lot of the buildings here in the old town seem to be used as the sort of touristy shops, selling kind of the cork bags and the magnets and the postcards and stuff like that. Not sort of unspoilt buildings like in Peniche.
Once you've been to Porto, the buildings there, they really take your breath away, and they tower above you, and they look like they've been painted by somebody and then brought into reality. So that for me was like such a high point, and there was so many streets there with no cars, fully pedestrianised. There's one or two streets here that are.
I kind of like that it's got this buzz about it. It's a totally different thing,
and that's great, and I'm really enjoying that. Yeah,
just very different. It's just so nice to see all these different places.
So different.
So even though we're still pretty full, we got some regional sweets, which I think are pretty traditional things. This is an almond cake, and this just said thin sweet, but it said fino dolce, so I think it means fine sweet, but I think the translation has come out as thin sweet, which I quite like instead of fine. So we're going to try this. I think this is going to be like marzipan because it's also almond, so I'm going to try this one first.
Yeah?
Yeah, that's great. Yeah, it's like a kind of light marzipan. It's really nice. It's not super sweet, actually. It's really soft. And it's got orange stuff in the middle. No one knows what that is. Okay, let's try the almond cake. Oh, yeah. There's way more textury, slightly cakey. That's really sweet, but very nice. I think it's just marzipan, isn't it?
It's like a marzipan egg. Maybe I'll tell him to update his names.
That one's got more to it, hasn't it?
That's really good.
Yeah, I really like that almond one.
So they were 180 each, which is a pretty good deal. And I also saw that he's doing coffee for 70 cents, which I'd be tempted by if I hadn't had one already today. So we're on one of the more narrow pedestrianised streets, really lovely cobbled streets with little shops and cafes dotted about. Historically, a place for backpackers is Lagos, and we've seen a few people wandering around with huge backpacks on that must be travelling around, so it's quite exciting to imagine what kind of journey they must be on as well. And I was reading online about how it was a backpacker's destination 30-40 years ago, but it has been developed a lot, and it does seem like there's a lot of apartments and holiday lets, that kind of thing. So I think it's changed a lot, it seems. And if you came 30 years ago, you might not even recognise some of the areas if you came again now.
Well, that's the nicest laundrette I've ever seen. Had their own little wooden cases to sit in.
Discovered that Lagos is surrounded by a wall, a very large wall. It's been there for a long time, 16th century, although the Romans built the first wall around Lagos. It's been an important place for a very long time. Yeah, so it surrounds the city centre, and we've just walked a little bit of it. When we came in the other side of the city, we came through like an archway on that side. So yeah, it's surrounding the whole thing, and I can still see it sort of reaching off into the distance there. So it's quite an impressive structure. There was a guy being abducted by a spaceship there.
We have returned to the van, just have a bit of a rest and regroup, and then we might head back out into town. Obviously, we normally go to bed at about 10:30, so midnight is really pushing it to stay up till for us. We were told that there is a huge firework display, the biggest one in the Algarve, happening just about 2 minutes from the campsite. But for now, I'm going to finish off that laundry, go over to the hand-washy, scrubby sink things. If you know what they're called, let me know. Make some dinner and yeah, just have a bit of a chill. Laundry is done. I don't really know if that was how you're supposed to use that thing. I kind of just rubbed them on it for a while. They seem pretty clean though. So we have a washing line. I just asked Benny where it was and I forgot that we use it to hold our tea up. So this is our washing line. Hey!
It has pooped me out, I must say.
We've been walking all day.
Yeah.
Again.
Ooh.
I'm not sure what I'm going to attach this to outside. We don't have any pegs!
Nope.
Oh, we don't have any pegs. I mean, if it was t-shirts and stuff, it'd be alright, but it's all socks.
Why don't you hang it up in the front between the two handrail things?
Yeah, maybe
hand grabbers.
Yeah, because if I hang it outside and then one falls off, it's just going to go straight into the sand. It's very sandy floor. And we'll be back to square one.
That's the problem.
Alright, yeah. If it falls on the floor of the van in the cab, it's pretty much the same, actually. So, it needs a bit of a sweep. Okay, half of our power's just gone off.
But only half. Diesel heater's gone off and those lights, but these lights are okay.
Should we see if the these lights come on? No, they're not working. That's so strange. New Year's Eve without power and heating. We can't put the wood burner on here because we're under a tree and it probably set fire to it or something. Everything's really dry. Oh, what? Why? This is strange. Don't really understand.
The solar's gone off.
So what does that mean?
I think it means the battery's gone.
Well, this is puzzling. I can't see how the lithium setup would have suddenly just died because it's been absolutely fine. It's been working brilliantly. What's weird is most of our lights are on, but these are lights that Benny wired in, whereas what's gone off over there is what was already wired in. It doesn't make sense why the solar charge unit would go off. Obviously there's no solar coming in, but is it a fuse? Could it just be a fuse? We'll check the fuses.
I think that those lights at the back, there's another unit that they're plugged into at the back. There's like a bus bar, positive and negative. It was here when we got the van. And I think these lights are connected to the starter. That bus bar is connected to the starter.
So everything at the front, like the lights that have gone off and the diesel heater is attached to the lithium.
Yeah.
And then what's still on is on the starter battery.
Yeah, but I just need to know if there's another fuse, because it's not just going to be one fuse, because everything's gone at the same time. So there must be either there's another fuse or the lithium's just like conked it.
I don't think it would do that though.
Why? Do you know what I mean though? Because
but
what's making me think that is because the solar's switched off, and that would only happen if it had no power coming from the battery.
Yeah, but I think there's fuses in this cupboard for all that. We'll just check the fuses and see. It's just quite bizarre that the whole system's just gone off, including the solar charge controller. But it's about 8:30. I don't think we're going to make it to midnight. We're super tired. We had such a massive dinner. I made like cauliflower and broccoli cheese, and it was like a full plate of it. So we're feeling quite sleepy. But this isn't really what we want to be doing right now.
There's a big chunky battery fuse here. Well, I found there's a couple of large fuses. I guess I need to like screw them off and look at the underside of them to see if they've broken or not. But for now we'll just have to leave it because there's not really much we can do anyway. It's New Year's Day tomorrow.
So who knows what's going to be open, and also we just don't want to waste our day trying to find a fuse and fiddling around with all that. So luckily some lights work, it's just not the heating, but it obviously is not freezing. Although it did say it was going to go really cold tonight, didn't it?
We'll be alright.
It's like the first night in ages where it said it's going to go down to like feels like 1. Oh well, we'll be okay. Yeah, so we'll probably just go and enjoy the beach tomorrow, stay the night again, and then just go and try and find something the day after. So annoying, as if that's happened tonight. What? Why? Why would that happen tonight of all nights? Just realised that the fridge is obviously attached to that. That's annoying. I think we only have a few frozen peas in the freezer section and then the rest will be okay. You just have to get through that cheese.
It's time to begin Operation Eat Everything in the Fridge.
Maybe this is a sign.
Clean the fridge.
Happy New Year! Happy New Year!
Oh, Happy New Year!
Is it just getting weirder?
Yeah.
Are you having a great New Year's Day?
Yeah.
Should we just go swimming instead, Benny, and do this tomorrow?
Can do, yeah. This is the big fuse.
Okay, so those big 100 amp fuses you can only check with a multimeter, and our multimeter broke. So we don't have one, so we can't check it, and there's no other way of checking it, I don't think. So, well, the only way we can check it is by swapping a fuse over. So hopefully that's going to work. So have you swapped them over?
Yeah, I don't think anything's happened, has it?
No, the diesel heater screen isn't on.
So those two fuses are fine, those two large 100 amp ones, which leaves me with this one. My next step would be to check this one. That's 150 amp though, so I could try putting the 100 in, but it's probably not a good idea, is it? So that, at this point, we are now stuck. And if it's not that fuse, I don't know what it is.
Yeah. Thing is, we didn't do the electrics in here, so we don't know exactly how it works.
I don't actually know how this is wired up. Like, there's a lot of big fat cables here, and I'm not 100% sure what they're all doing. It's been done very well, but because we didn't do it, we don't know how it's wired. We're
just going to leave it for now and go and enjoy the sunshine, because the sun is out again today, and our plan is to walk down to the sort of end peninsulary bit of Lagos. There's some really nice walks there and some beaches, so hopefully we're actually going to go for a swim today for the first time on our trip. That would be really, really nice to do on New Year's Day. Okay, so just before we left, I thought, let's just try turning the solar system back on again. And it's all come back on, but the solar charge controller is showing that the battery is at 0%. Maybe the battery is just gone suddenly. I mean, that's just what it's saying. Well, we have walked right down to the end of the peninsulary bit to where all the very beautiful rocks are, and it is really incredible. It's just, yeah, I don't know.
Yeah,
it's wild rocks.
It is. It's astonishingly beautiful. It truly is.
I think it's hard to get it across on camera, like the sheerness of it.
It really is sculpted.
Yeah.
The rocks are sculpted and they look so beautiful with the azure sea.
Yeah, really.
It's a sight to behold.
Want to get in that sea, but there's no beach on this bit. But one thing is, it's really busy. Really surprisingly busy for New Year's Day or this time of year. Maybe it's because it is New Year's Day. I think we're going to walk back towards the main town and go to one of the beaches, slightly more on the outskirts, not the main beach. Your socks dry?
No.
So we didn't make it to the beach because they were basically impossible to get to. The ones that we wanted to find were like in the rocks and kind of out of the touristy bits. Yeah, we couldn't figure out how to get down to them basically. We found one that seemed possible-ish, and then we got to a certain point and it was really, really dodgy looking. So we didn't do it. And then the other beach that we found that we could get down to by stairs was just in the shade and the tide was in. So we didn't make it to the beach today. I think it's probably just sort of the wrong time of the year really. Anyway, we've come back to the van and the power is back on. Yeah, the solar panel is in the sun. We now have 56% battery, which says to me that there's something wrong. It can't have charged that much that quickly with our one panel. We left Lagos behind and we drove quite far east towards the Spanish border, and we found an amazing park up overlooking a dam. We have been here for 2 days now, just getting some work done and chilling out. It's been really sunny until today. It is now quite cloudy.
I'm going to have a go at having an outdoor shower today because it's an incredibly quiet place. There's nobody around at all. So we're just going to use our lovely shower setup and do it outside. I'm going to put my Crocs on, but there are mosquitoes, so I'll be keeping my eye out for them. Actually, I got bit by one yesterday afternoon.
It's so bad. Oh.
I think I'm allergic to them. Well, I pretty much know that I'm allergic to them. This is a mixture of boiled water and some water that we collected from the last campsite we stayed at.
He's not just having a freezing cold shower, by the way.
No.
Okay, so while we wait for some more water to heat up for Benny's shower, we should probably update you on our electric system situation, because I think last time we saw you, we were still at the campsite in Lagos and we had no power in the front half of the back of the van, so no heating, no fridge, no lights. didn't really understand what on earth was going on because we've never ever had a problem with it before. And so we thought it was a fuse.
I checked the fuse somewhere we knew did work and power was coming on, and I swapped them round to see if it was one of them that was broken, and they both work.
So we were left even more confused. So the next morning, the sun was actually shining on the van. It was a bit of a sunnier day. There was a bit of sun managing to come through some of the trees, and it was getting a bit of power into the batteries, and everything came back on. So we just realised that the battery was just dead, and that was all it was.
Yeah.
So that might seem like a bit of a silly thing to not realise, but it's because we've never ever had a problem with our batteries before.
We've had this van with this battery for almost a year. It's a lithium battery, and we can keep our eye on how much charge it's got, what voltage it's at, and it's never dropped below 60%. And I think it's just taken us by surprise. Maybe there was a few days that we didn't check. We were actually under trees for several days.
Yeah, that was it.
And also in the van a fair bit. So we were using a bit of power. And I think it's just taken us by surprise, really, hasn't it?
Yeah, I think so, yeah. So that's why we didn't realise the battery was dead. But because it's been a bit warmer, I guess the fridge is having to work a bit harder. It's actually been cool in the mornings and late at night, so we have had the heating on. And then I think we worked out at least 4 or 5 days where the van has been under trees. So that is all it was. And we have had a load of sun on it now, and it is just basically back to normal.
The split charge has also been switched off. We have like a big switch to turn that on and off.
And if you don't know what that is, it's so that when you run the engine, basically the alternator from the engine, I think, charges somehow. It charges the leisure battery, basically.
That's right.
But we've had that off for some reason. So 2 silly mistakes. But it's kind of like the most basic thing. I think sometimes when it's a really basic thing, you just don't even think about that.
The voltage reader is in a cupboard, so it's hidden out of the way. It's not just on the wall like you get in a boat sometimes to glance at.
Yeah, and
you've got to squat down and get in the cupboard and do this.
And sometimes the bin is in front of that cupboard, so...
And you might say, oh, that's not that hard. What are you on about? Well, I guess just day-to-day life, you just don't always squat and twist your head into a cupboard.
Okay, let's go check if your water's hot, and let's wash you.
Yeah.
I just want to point out that I've had a shower at the campsite and then in the van, so it's not like we just washed Benny. And anyway, I don't wash him, he washes himself. What am I saying? Okay, I think that's hot enough.
Yeah, that's nice. Oh, that's going to be nice. Okay. Yoo-hoo.
It's a success, he is clean, he is happy, sorted.
That's right.
So another thing that we wanted to address was the fact that we have actually pretty much left the Algarve already. We only went to Lagos, we didn't really do much more of the Algarve.
Nope, we didn't.
So Lagos wasn't really for us.
No, it wasn't. Oh man, where do I start?
It's very, very beautiful. Like the coastline was really beautiful. The rocky bits and all that was incredible. Obviously, very, very special.
That was definitely the highlight there.
Yeah.
That was the bit that stood out from anywhere else we'd been, was those unique coastline rocky outcroppings were so magical and picturesque. It was rather insane, really, how beautiful that was.
But yeah, I think even though it's like this time of the year, it was still very touristy. Now, are we tourists? I don't know.
That's a whole nother debate. What makes you a tourist or a traveller?
Like the old town, it had its charm, but it was very overrun by like really tacky shops. There wasn't much soul to it, was there? It didn't have that...
Not particularly.
It seemed like it had been changed by tourism a lot.
After visiting a few towns and seeing what they were like, I think in comparison to them, Lagos seems pretty run down and slightly unloved.
It ruined it for us a bit. I mean, there was definitely some really interesting bits. Like, we loved the graffiti and like the old walls. Okay, we didn't go to anywhere else in the Algarve. We're actually running out of time because we actually need to be in Valencia in about 5 days' time for my dad's 65th birthday. So we've run out of time. We were going to spend a bit more time in the Algarve, but to be honest, we're not that bothered. Benny's just making a coffee because we're about to set off.
Yeah.
But yeah, we hate being negative about a place, but that is just how we felt. It was not for us. It didn't have the kind of vibe that we enjoy. We're actually right on the border of Spain, so in about 20 minutes after we leave, we'll be in Spain. We may well just stop a couple of like little places in the mountains or hills, like smaller places now, and then get over to my dad. I can't believe how fast time is going. It's like the 4th of January. It has gone so quickly.
It's exciting for you, it's exciting for us. We don't know where we're going to be next. Oh yeah, let's mix it up, let's go with the flow.
Okay, let's just leave because we've been faffing for a while now.
Done the washing up, made the breakfast, had a wash, dressed you, made some plans, had my second coffee. It's 1 o'clock, let's go.
Thanks so much for watching. We really hope you enjoyed this week's video. If you did, give it a thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't already. We'll see you next time. Bye!
Covered up in shyness is the soul that wants to grow. The briefest smiles divulge a style of the friendliest of home. Why can't we be more